During the Great Rally for Peace and Democracy held on Wednesday in Cali, Colombia, President Gustavo Petro called for dialogue after attacks in the southwest of the country. An Air India flight carrying at least 242 people crashed shortly after taking off from the city of Ahmedabad. Thousands of activists worldwide arrived Thursday in Cairo, Egypt, in a humanitarian caravan bound for the Gaza Strip to demand the entry of aid to Palestine. Hello and welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from teleSUR Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. During the Great Rally for Peace and Democracy held on Wednesday in Cali, Colombia, President Gustavo Petro called for dialogue after attacks in the southwest of the country. During the rally, Petro addressed the people to reject the recent violent acts that took place in Cauca, Valle del Cauca and Cali. He also denounced that an attempt was made to silence this region with terror and fear, leaving dozens of people injured and dead, including civilians and members of the security forces. Likewise, he highlighted the history of social struggles and proposed to recover that memory to build a country based on justice, dignified work and participative democracy. Moreover, the head of state called for national unity, dialogue between opposing parties, and to continue fighting without violence for a more just and peaceful Colombia. In Colombia, the Minister of Justice, Eduardo Montealegre, has made a statement regarding the issuance of Presidential Decree number 0639 that calls for a popular consultation to reform labor legislation. The Minister of Justice has identified at least 5 irregularities in the legislative process that violate the country's constitution. The denunciation arises after the vote of the bill in the Senate. Among the irregularities mentioned are the omission of the reading of the proposition and discrepancies in the vote count. Montealegre argues that the Congress of the Republic has openly violated the Colombian constitution by issuing an unfavorable concept regarding the popular consultation.
The President of the Republic signed a decree that calls for the popular consultation on August 7th, 2025. It is a decree that is signed by all the ministers of the office. The main foundation of the decree of the President of the Republic to summon the popular consultation by decree is that the Congress of the Republic openly violated the Colombian constitution by rendering an unfavorable concept to the popular consultation.
Colombian Clinic Santa Fe Foundation reported on the health condition of Senator Miguel Turbay. Through a press release, the health entity informed the Santa Fe de Bogotá Foundation informs at the request of the family that patient Miguel Turbay continues to be in intensive care. The monitoring and the various care measures implemented allow us to report stability with respect to the last clinical condition reported. He remains in critical condition as informed. All efforts to mitigate the impact of the injuries continue to be made on a minute-by-minute basis. On Thursday morning, Bolivian President Luis Arce confirmed that a third member of the police force lost his life in the southwest town of Yayagua in the midst of operations to clear road blockades. In an appearance accompanied by Vice President David Choquehuanca and other government officials, the president confirmed the death of Second Lieutenants Carlos Enrique Apata Tola and Brian Jorge Barroso Rodriguez and Second Sergeant Jesus Alberto Mamani Morales, all graduates of the National Police Academy. According to official reports, the events occurred after being ambushed in the midst of operations to clear road blockades. In this context, the head of state sent his condolences to the relatives of the deceased and assured that the government will not resign and that the operations will continue.
En primera instancia, queremos expresar.
In the first instance, we want to express our deep condolences to the families, friends, and colleagues of all our police martyrs. Second Lieutenant Carlos Enrique Apatatola, Second Lieutenant Brian Jorge Barroso Rodriguez, and Second Sergeant Jesus Alberto Amani Morales, and to express that we are deeply moved, deeply outraged by the violence that has been unleashed today in Jajagua. We also want to tell the Bolivian people that after the military and police operations that we are successfully carrying out between the Oruro and Cochabamba highway and the operations that we are carrying out in Jajagua, they will continue. They will continue until we achieve the objective that has been set.
Hasta lograr el objetivo que se ha planteado.
The most recent report by the International Organization for Migration states that the number of people displaced in Haiti has increased by 24% in just 6 months. A report released on Thursday confirmed that the criminal group's violence had forced 11% of Haitian citizens to flee their homes. Amy Pope, the organization's Director General, reiterated that urgent action cannot be delayed. She stated that the strength and resilience of the Haitian people can no longer be taken advantage of. Moreover, the United Nations Children's Fund adds that 1 in 6 Haitian children has been displaced due to violence. The International Organization for Migration points out that shelters are overcrowded and it is impossible to meet the most basic needs of all these people. And now we have a short break coming up, but first remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates and more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. Arrest numbers continue to rise after 6 days of demonstrations in the United States in rejection of President Donald Trump's immigration policies. A large-scale mobilization at Los Angeles City Hall was dispersed by police as a citywide curfew came into effect. According to a senior U.S. military official, troops deployed in the Californian city can temporarily detain individuals while law enforcement officers approach them. The Los Angeles District Authority has stated that it will defend the First Amendment rights of residents in the face of federal raids against the immigrant community. On Thursday, the governments of Venezuela and Uruguay confirmed the reopening of their consular services in the capitals of both countries. In a statement released by the Venezuelan side, it was explained that the foreign ministries of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and the Oriental Republic of Uruguay are pleased to inform the public that consular services in Caracas and Montevideo will be reactivated within the next few days as a result of joint efforts in order to serve the respective communities. On Wednesday, Cuba's President Miguel Díaz-Canel received in Havana China's Special Representative for Latin American Affairs, Qiu Xiaobi. During the meeting, they emphasized the strength of the bilateral relationship as an exemplar of solidarity and cooperation between socialist countries. The Cuban president emphasized that the visit of the Chinese representative presented an opportunity to reaffirm their political commitment to developing relations and finding joint solutions at the highest level. Qiu emphasized the importance of developing and strengthening cooperation with Cuba for the Chinese government and assured the Cuban president that his country would continue to support the island. The Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of Our America has appointed Rander Peña as its new executive secretary. Through our official statement, the bloc informed the appointment seeks to continue with the work undertaken to achieve the 2030 ALBA TCP strategic agenda with a special emphasis on the Agro-ALBA and ALBA Azul initiatives and the ALBA TCP Development Cooperation Agency. In this regard, the Bolivarian Alliance expressed to be grateful for the work and dedication of Mr. Jorge Arreaza Montserrat for making solid progress towards the objectives of the strategic agenda, giving new drive to ALBA TCP and wishes him success in his new duties. The communique closes by expressing that the member countries congratulate the new executive secretary, who is entrusted with consolidating the proposals and tasks set forth by the heads of state and government and ministerial authorities, and express their full support for his new position. In this context, the former executive secretary of the bloc, Jorge Arreaza, addressed the decision through his Telegram account, expressing to be grateful to the governments of the 10 member countries of the Bolivarian Alliance for the trust that they have placed in us. We are confident that the new executive secretary, our brother Rander Peña, will be able to coordinate ALBA's actions to deepen our union and continue to bring dignity and happiness to our peoples united for life. We will prevail. Russia and Ukraine carried out a new exchange of prisoners of war amid negotiations in the Turkish city of Istanbul. The Russian Ministry of Defense informed that a group of Russian prisoners of war returned this June 12th from captivity in Ukraine. At the same time, a group of Ukrainian servicemen was handed over to Kyiv. The Russian servicemen are now on the territory of Belarus, where they are provided with the necessary psychological and medical assistance. Then they will be transferred to Russia to receive rehabilitation in medical facilities. Thousands of citizens celebrate Russia Day across the Russian nation with parades and festivals. The date commemorates the adoption of the Declaration of State Sovereignty of the Soviet Federative Socialist Republic of Russia within the framework of the Soviet Union on June 12, 1990. This initiated the constitutional reform and paved the way for the creation of the Russian Federation. June 12 is observed as a national holiday with official ceremonies, concerts, marches and fireworks celebrating the country's sovereignty and identity. On Russia Day, President Vladimir Putin awards gold medals, Hero of Labor of the Russian Federation, and state awards in the field of science, technology, literature and art.
It is important that today, when we celebrate this holiday and at the same time respond to difficult challenges, protect truth and justice, defend our traditional values, we think about the future, confidently set large-scale development goals for ourselves, move forward, and step-by-step reach new heights, build up the industrial, technological, and scientific power of Russia. It is important.
We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our Facebook page at teleSUR English. There you'll be able to watch our top stories, special live coverage and much more. Follow our page and activate the notification button to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back. An Air India flight carrying at least 242 passengers and crew members crashed shortly after taking off from the city of Ahmedabad in the South Asian nation. Flight 171, a Boeing 7878 aircraft, was departing the city to land at London's Gatwick Airport in the United Kingdom with reportedly 169 Indian nationals, 53 British, 7 Portuguese and 1 Canadian on board. India's Minister of Civil Aviation informed that rescue teams have been mobilized, while the Army deployed 130 personnel, including doctors and paramedics, to assist civil authorities in clearing debris. The Ahmedabad police unveiled that 290 bodies have been recovered from the site so far, among them those of medical students, as the plane crashed on top of a medical college. One person has reportedly been rescued alive and is currently receiving attention. In this context, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi took to his social media X to address the accident, expressing, "The tragedy in Ahmedabad has stunned and saddened us. It is heartbreaking beyond words. In this sad hour, my thoughts are with everyone affected by it. Have been in touch with ministers and authorities who are working to assist those affected." Meanwhile, while addressing lawmakers in the House of Commons on Thursday, British Foreign Secretary David Lammy informed that a crisis team has been set up in both India and the UK following the crash.
Well, Mr. Speaker, my thoughts, and I'm sure those of the entire House, are with those who've been affected by the tragic plane crash in India this morning. We know that British nationals were on board, and Mr. Speaker, I can confirm that the FCDO is working urgently with local authorities to support British nationals and their families, and has stood up a crisis team in both Delhi and in London.
As international reactions to the crash pour in, Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel took to his Telegram channel to address the tragedy, expressing the Cuban people's full support and solidarity with the government and people of India following the tragic plane crash in the city of Ahmedabad. Our heartfelt condolences go out to the families and loved ones of the victims. For his part, Venezuelan Foreign Minister Iván Gil sent a solidarity message to India in the aftermath of the sinister. Gil shared, "On behalf of President Nicolás Maduro, we extend our deepest condolences to the brotherly people of India and their government for the tragic plane crash that occurred on June 12th, which has plunged the entire nation into mourning. The bonds of brotherhood between Venezuela and India call on us to unite in mourning, to pray for those who have departed, and to wish for the speedy recovery of the injured." Thousands of activists worldwide arrived Thursday in Cairo, Egypt, in a humanitarian caravan bound for the Gaza Strip to demand the entry of aid to Palestine. Over 3,000 citizens from some 54 countries joined the relief convoy led by more than 1,500 activists from Tunisia. Such delegation planned to enter the Rafah border crossing on June 15. Concurrently, the caravan of the steadfastness remain in Libya, awaiting the approval of the Egyptian government to transit its territory and continue its passage towards the Gaza Strip. This caravan hoped to meet the other participants of the global march in Al Arish, some 50 kilometers from the border, although Cairo's authorities have not yet granted the necessary permits to reach there. 17 patients, mostly children, were evacuated from Gaza and arrived at various Italian airports on Wednesday night, accompanied by 53 relatives. The operation, coordinated by the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs with support from the Defense Ministry, the World Health Organization and the European Civil Protection, used 3 Italian Air Force C-130 planes to transport the injured and sick. The evacuees will receive treatment at hospitals in Milan, Bergamo, Rome, Florence, Verona, Bologna and Modena. This humanitarian effort comes as the Gazan Health Ministry reports the Palestinian death toll from the Israeli genocide has surpassed 55,000, with women and children comprising more than half of the casualties. Both the Iranian Foreign Ministry and the Iranian Atomic Energy Organization have condemned the anti-Iranian resolution adopted by the International Atomic Energy Agency's Board of Governors. In a statement, the Iranian Foreign Ministry described the resolution as the board's new instrumental use for political objectives, lacking technical and legal grounds. The statement further emphasized that none of the agency's reports refer to Iran's non-compliance with its obligations, nor to any deviations in nuclear materials or activities. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian confirmed that they would not bow to foreign injustices.
We will continue down our own path. We will have enrichment. We will build the country with these young people. And it is not as though if they destroy our facilities with bombs, everything is gone. All these capabilities are in our minds. And therefore, whatever they do, we will rebuild. I don't know how we should cooperate with the outside world to make them stop evil acts and let the people live independently in this country.
And like this, we have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram and TikTok as well. For Telesur English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.